Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of my F123 MyTeam career mode. Today we are going to be going to the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, but before we head off to there, we're going to do some housework. We got a little something here for our second drive, Felipe Dragovic, and we have decided to go over to the pace, so hopefully he can have some better pace in the upcoming race, and hopefully bump that up a little bit. As we go through the rest of the week heading up to the Grand Prix, we're going to be doing some G-Force training, some driver promotion filming, some supplier HQ tour, and then aerodynamics equipment upgrade. So hopefully that will boost us with resource points and morale and maybe a little bit of cash as well. But if you guys did miss the last episode, please go check it out. It was the round opener at the Bahrain Grand Prix. It was pretty decent to start off with, but some easy but fatal mistakes that cost us possible points on our debut of the season. But as we hop over to the R&D chart, we are going to be doing some upgrades, possibly looking for some aerodynamics as well as chassis, maybe some spark plugs on the powertrain. As you see, our gearbox upgrade ended up failing, so we're going to repurchase that upgrade as well as some other upgrades. Looking at some aerodynamics right here, we are going to be ordering a rear downforce upgrade, and maybe, like I said before, some spark plugs, get a little bit of a discount for all the practice programs that we completed during said practice. And as you see right there, we're reordering the gearbox durability, and it looks like that's all we're going to have to afford right now. So we are going to jump forward a few days in the activity list and the week to gain enough resource points in order to purchase another upgrade on the chassis at a discount, of course. So hopefully these upgrades come in within the next few races and help us tremendously in the upcoming races. But before we hop into qualifying, we're going to take a look at the R&D chart. Looks like pretty much all the teams have brought upgrades except for maybe one or two, and they have all been minor upgrades, as well as ourselves. But we are still the second worst car on the track, so hopefully we are able to possibly outperform the car, but we will see as we head into qualifying of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. We're going to be hopping on to the first flying lap of the weekend. Hopefully we can get a pretty clean lap in, so we can get into Q2. Coming into turn 1, going a little bit wide, mixing the apex, which is going to compromise our run into turn 2. Getting on the power as soon as possible. Going all the way down, heavy brake zone, ease the car in, nice fast sweeping part of the track, even though this track is pretty much that. Coming through this section, lifting off the throttles ever so slightly, letting the car turn in on the power as soon as possible as we come flying down into the banking part of the track, going a little bit wide, not hitting the apex as much as we wanted to, but we get a little snap of oversteer and we kind of make a little contact with the wall. Hopefully we didn't have any damage, but we will check here shortly, hitting the brakes and also messing up this part of the lap so far. So not as best as I would want, but as you can see, we have no damage, so we got away scot-free there. Hopefully we can clean up the rest of the part of this lap and try to get into the top 10, but it looks like it's going to be a little bit of a scruffy lap coming into the final sector. Hopefully we can nail this last corner and power out of the final corner across the line into a good position. Still very early in the qualifying session, so let's see what we can do. As we open DRS for the last time, we are coming across the line, and then we are only P7, but that is not going to be enough, so we are going to be jumping right back onto a second flying lap. Hopefully we can clean up this lap better than the first one, and hopefully we can make it into Q2. I will say this car over qualifying did feel pretty good through all these slow and fast corners. As you can see, already gaining 2/10 within the first 2 corners, so the track is really amping up. Hopefully we can carry this all the way through the rest of the lap into qualifying 2. But as you can see, we are gaining time every corner we go. taking this nice and easy, a lot better than I was before, coming back onto the baking part of the section of the track, hitting the apex a little bit better than we did before. Still kind of missed it on the power, nice and easy. Don't want to get that snap of oversteer again, so luckily we were gaining time. As you could tell, we were coming into the final part of the second sector, and we are over a second up on our time, but with that bad exit, we are going to lose some time on this straight. Hit opening DRS for a second time on this lap. Again, heavy braking zone, again missing that apex, so we are struggling in that part of the track, which will lose us even more time. So hopefully we can clean it up over the line, hitting the wall a little bit, but luckily, again, got away with no damage. Don't know what happened there, but luckily, like I said, no damage. So we are coming into the final corner, opening DRS for a final time, and we are going to be up a second on our time, which will put us in P10 into Q2 for the very first time of my team career mode. No big surprise knockouts in Q1, but there was a possible chance that Sergio Perez was going to be knocked out, but he barely made it through. So on that note, let's hop into our very first Q2 session. As we come on to our only flying lap of Q2, coming into turn 1 as well as turn 2, hitting the apex nice. And as we come out of turn 2, getting on the power a little too early, which we will make contact with the wall and actually damage our front wing, but we are still going to go on since it is the dying few minutes of qualifying 2, but that is going to put us on the back foot. So as we go through this lap, we are not going to improve a whole lot. We did set a benchmarker on some worn softs. As you can tell, the broken wing is really affecting us, going wide, getting a warning, pushing too hard, and looking back on this now, I probably should have just called it and getting out of, I believe this is Fernando Alonso, getting out of his way, but you know, in the moment I was just trying to get the best lap time as possible. As you can tell, the front wing is just not helping us whatsoever, and we are losing time hand over fist. And we're actually going to come back at Alonso, but I decided to back off because, like I said, there's really no point with a broken front wing going wide off the track again. Going to be out of qualifying, coming across the line at P16, and a simple mistake because I was really feeling this car on this track. It felt really nice over one lap, and I was really hoping to get into Q3, but unfortunately pushed the car a little too hard. So like I said, as we cross the line, we'll come home in P16. As Q2 comes to an end, we are going to be looking at some times, and it looks like both Aston Martins were knocked out as well as both Hasses. We held up Fernando Alonso probably a little too much. Probably should have backed out after we saw the broken front wing, but hopefully we are able to get a better result on Sunday.
We're here today on the shores of the Red Sea in the lower Hejaz Mountains to visit one of the newest circuits on the Formula One calendar. We're in Jeddah, home to what we all hope is going to be a thrilling Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah Street Circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Sainz, Perez, Russell, Hamilton, Norris, Gasly, Ocon, Zhou, Fernando Alonso, Bottas, Magnussen, Hülkenberg, Stroll, Tsunoda, Albon, Drugovich, Sargent, Oscar Piastri, and Nick de Vries. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today.
As we look at some strategies, we are going to be doing the alternative from mediums to soft. as we head to 5 red lights here at the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix, and we are underway, getting a pretty decent start, getting the traction down before Stroll does, and we were able to sneak up on the inside, possibly looking for a move on Hulkenberg, but we decided to tuck in behind, going 2x2x2. Also 3 wide up ahead with Valtteri Bottas, Esteban Ocon, trying to put the traction down as much as possible on Kevin Magnussen. Going to sneak up on the inside, late on the brakes, almost hit the wall on the inside, but we are lucky to escape that and with no damage. So we are already up 2 positions, and hopefully we can keep that momentum going as we head through the center S's of the Saudi Arabian track. Under pressure from Kevin Magnussen, and coming into the banking, hopefully we can hold him off. But out of this corner, I have noticed that the AI definitely get the traction down a lot better than I have. Used a little bit of battery, but we are able to hold him off coming into the second sector of the lap, trying to close down Esteban Ocon as well as hold back Kevin Magnussen. But it looks like he's getting a pretty decent run. I'm going to be using some battery to battle him back on this straight. And I've noticed during this race that we have a pretty decent engine in our car, because they are is actually able to hold its own in a straight line with using the battery as well as DRS later on in the race. Coming into the final corner, getting real nice and close to Esteban Ocon's rear end. Hopefully we are able to possibly look for an overtake into turn 1 and 2, using plenty of battery on the straight. Going to be looking from the outside all the way into the inside. A little bit hesitant, but he left us the room, so we're going to put our nose up on the inside, and we are going to sneak on through, try to get the traction down. Since he is on the hards, we were able to do that, and with that move, that puts us up into P13, only a few positions away from the points. Skipping forward a little bit, as you will see, we actually have a fault on the DRS, which as of right now won't really affect us since DRS is not enabled, but on lap 3, as you can tell, it has already affected us because Kevin Magnussen is right up our gearbox and pushing us through this corner. And as you will see, using a little bit of battery, but he's going to be coming flying around us without DRS. It's kind of just pretty much a sit and duck, but we are going to be late on the brakes and hold him off, almost running into the rear end of Nico Hulkenberg, but getting it slowed down just in time. As we head on to the main straight, we are going to be looking for an opportunity to overtake Nico Hulkenberg. It looks like Kevin Magnussen got a pretty awful exit out of the final corner. As we look on the inside, going a little bit late, but making a little contact. Kind of a little awkward situation, but luckily we did not hit him super hard, so we had no damage. But hopefully we are able to hold off Kevin Magnussen as much as possible and keep up with Nico Hulkenberg as well without the DRS. But as we jump forward through the lap, we are going to be coming into the end of the first sector, getting it all out of shape, which is going to put us under pressure from Kevin Magnussen, especially without DRS. He's going to be pulling up alongside us. We're going to be deploying some battery to come back at him as we go side by side, and we are able to swoop around the outside, carry the speed, and have the grip. That was an amazing move. We were able to hold him off, but I'm not sure if we can hold him off as a second attack because we are running out of battery, so I decided to let him go. But late on the brakes, kind of surprised him, and we are able to sneak up on the inside of the last corner, and a little contact as I kind of gave him a little squeeze near the wall. But Magnussen is coming back at us, as well as Lance Stroll. Unfortunately, we are going to have to let Kevin Magnussen go, but we are still under pressure from Lance Stroll, so we are going to squeeze him on the apex, get our elbows out, and we are able to put the power down before he can. And as we take off from turn 2, we're going to try to hunt down Kevin Magnussen again, but that is going to be difficult in the dirty air, as well as we are still under pressure from Lance Stroll behind us. He is pretty much pushing us through these middle S's, and hopefully we are able to hold him off, deploying the battery on this little mini straight. Got a little bit defensive, trying to break the toe, hitting the apex nice and easy, get on the power nice and smooth, as Kevin Magnussen ahead gets a little out of sorts, but he was able to catch it and hold on to it. Coming into this section of the track, which I will say is my most difficult part of the track. As you can see, we have DRS back engaged, and we are able to pull away from Lance Stroll. As you can see, we, like I said before, our engine is pretty decent with DRS and in a straight line, so we are going to get a second dose of DRS, hopefully maybe looking for an overtake into the final corner, but we are gaining, going to go on the outside, and before the braking zone we are going to be ahead of him, kind of close the door on him, and let the car roll through as we get on the power. But we are going to be in a little bit of a pickle since we do not have DRS, but we are able to hold him off. Jumping forward a little bit to lap 6, coming through the final sector of the lap, going to be under pressure from Kevin Magnussen again without DRS, and hopefully we are able to hold him off. We're going to stick to the inside, he goes around the outside, and again late on the brakes, going to push him a little bit wide, get our elbows out, and we are able to hold off another onslaught from Kevin Magnussen. This has turned into a pretty good battle as he gets a second dose of DRS down the main straight. Again, we're going to go defensive on the inside, late on the brakes. We are going to be side by side into turn 1 and 2. A little bit of contact, but pretty fair between both of us, very well respected, and we are still going to be able to hold off Kevin Magnussen coming into the final part of the first sector. As we jump forward onto lap 7, we've actually dropped Kevin Magnussen and gained some time on the group ahead of Pierre Gasly and Guan Yu Zhou. Having DRS engaged as well as some battery, hopefully we are able to make an overtake on Gasly, maybe 2 or 3 overtakes. Late on the brakes, kind of catch Gasly snoozing. He's going to leave us the space, and we are going to shut the door on him on the exit. That is going to put us up into P12, another dose of DRS, so hopefully we can make another overtake on Guan Yu Zhou. Going to sneak on the inside, and again, late on the brakes, going to side by side, giving us each other room. Oh, big mistake by Nico Hülkenberg, so we're going to swoop around the outside of him on the exit of turn 2. That's going to be 2 positions and 2 corners. What an amazing sequence of corners on our behalf. As we come through the center S's, hopefully we are able to hold him off and drop him like we did Kevin Magnussen and go and chase after Valtteri Bottas. Going a little bit wide, we have the car beached and we are off the track and we are trying to save it and we are unable to. We spin out. Oh, what a catastrophic error on our side, and again we spin again, getting too much power down. What is going on? Not again. No, not again. What an unfortunate set of events. As we go on to the rest of this lap, even worse, the safety car is out on the lap that we have spun. What a disastrous part of the race for us. George Russell is out of the race, as well as Charles Leclerc. Some big names, but for us, what an awful mistake. Luckily, we didn't smack into the wall, so no damage, but we are going to change our strategy to a 2-stop as we go on and see what brought out the safety car. This is Lewis Hamilton and George Russell coming into the final corner. It looks like Russell's going to be looking and move on the outside. And as you see, oh, there's contact between Leclerc. Oh, and Russell smacks into the side of Leclerc trying to avoid him. What happened to Leclerc? Looks like he was going for a move on Sergio Perez. And he looks like he's in front of him, and he just smacks into the back of Verstappen. Why is Verstappen going slow? What is going on in the front? Oh, gosh. What happened? This is Verstappen's POV. Oh, he gets a puncture. That's why he was going so slow. And Leclerc was too busy focusing on Perez that he didn't see or realize how fast he was coming up on Verstappen. And how Verstappen didn't get taken out of the race is beyond me. That was some heavy contact. The safety car, we have made our pit stops on these softs, so hopefully we can put these to good use and cut through this traffic and hopefully maybe get some back into the points. But as we come to the restart, it looks like we get a little out of shape, not really really know what's going on with it, but that does not stop us as we send one down the inside of Logan Sargent out of nowhere, late breakers, and we are able to hold him off into turn 1 and 2. So we are already up into one position. Hopefully going to go after De Vries, jumping forward a little bit, and we are right on De Vries' tail. Hopefully we can get an overtake done onto the main straight out of the final corner, getting all the slipstream and battery usage alongside, and we are going to be late on the brakes and swoop around the outside, carry the speed. Hopefully we're able to keep alongside him and he leaves us the room, and we are able to use the battery and just put the power down and leave him for dust and cut back across him and go to defensive. Maybe looking for an overtake on Kevin Magnussen, but he was a little too far. jumping forward a little bit into the lap, and we are hot on Kevin Magnussen's heels as we have DRS and battery. Sorry, not DRS. We are still don't have DRS and getting a little bit of a sniff on the inside, but we decided to back out. That way we didn't get any more damage. But here's the second dose of the battery on the straight, and we are able to breeze past Kevin Magnussen before the final corner. And let's hope we can track down Esteban Ocon as well as that group in front of us. But looking behind, we are still under pressure from Kevin Magnussen, and it looks like he's not really going to be able to keep up with us. Maybe looking for an overtake, but deciding to tuck in behind. As you can see, the group ahead of us is fighting with Zhou, and I believe that was Pierre Gasly maybe. But as we continue through the lap, yellow flag ahead. I wonder who's that going to be as we come out of the final corner, almost hitting the rear end of Esteban Ocon with the stack up. As we come onto the main straight, who is out of the race, yellow flag, and it is Sergio Perez. He is pulled off. It looks like it was a mechanical failure. As we come into the first corner, we're going to dive bomb Esteban Ocon and hold him off on the inside, trying to swoop around the outside, and we are able to put the power down and use those soft tires to our benefit and push away from him. As we jump through the lap, we are going to be behind Yuki Tsunoda and have DRS from Yuki Tsunoda, but still under pressure from Esteban Ocon. Maybe looking for a move on this heavy brake zone, but it looks like he's going to tuck in behind us and maybe look for a second dose of DRS to get by us on this last part of the lap. He's right behind us, practically pushing us through this fast part of the track, but we are going to hold him off, late on the brakes, and it looks like Felipe Drakovic and Zhou as well as Tsunoda is getting all tangled up, so we are right up on the rear end of our teammate Felipe Drakovic. Hopefully we can get a move done as we stick him with the slipstream. Gonna pull out, and looks like it's gonna be 3 wide ahead. Oh, some contact between Zhou and Tsunoda. We're gonna try and sneak our way through. A little contact between the two teammates of me and Felipe Drakovic, but no damage done. As we come into this turn 3, we are possibly looking for an overtake, but decided to stick behind Felipe and hopefully get a better opportunity into the banked corner of this circuit. Trying to hold the car on the track through these parts of the circuit with the dirty air. As we come out of that corner, we are on the battery and deep dive. Oh, little twitch, and Felipe, hats off to him. I mean, he left us a space, but we decided to sneak up on the outside or inside, and we are able to pull away from Felipe, as well as Esteban Ocon is supposed to follow us, or is able to follow us through. Maybe looking for an overtake on Zhou as well as Tsunoda, but we come into the final corner onto the main straight of lap 16, right behind Yuki Tsunoda, DRS, and Tsunoda is coming into the pit, so that's going to be a free pass on our part. Maybe an overtake on Tsunoda, super late on the brakes, but we are just a little too far back as we just follow him through turn 1 and 2, trying to let the race calm down just a little bit. Coming on to the banked part of lap 16, little snap of oversteer for Yuki Tsunoda, but he was able to catch it, and we are starting to get back into the groove of things. Our pit lap for our second pit stop is coming up shortly. Not getting the best exit. Oh, big snap of oversteer. That's going to put us under pressure from Esteban Ocon, and there's contact. He rear-ended us, but we have DRS, and we are able to try to hold him off as we come into this fast sweeping section, heavy on the braking zone, and oh, contact, and he spins! We spin, and oh, contact with our teammate, no! Oh, we thought the race was coming back to us, but we just, oh, mistakes! Oh no, looks like we got a little into the side of Esteban Ocon, and that is such a bad incident on our part. Luckily, no damage again. We have been really lucky with this race with no damage, and we are so mad we shoot one on the inside of Kevin Magnussen, catch him kind of dozing off a little bit. But what a big mistake, and just fighting. And as we go into the race, this is our lap that we are coming in for our second pit stop, and major frustration showing, and we just lose the rear end again. Big contact with Lando Norris, which is going to give us a 5-second penalty. Oh my goodness, this race was going so well, and then it went so wrong so fast. let me catch my breath for a second. As we come in to serve our penalty, I had such high hopes for this race, getting into Q2 and feeling the pace in this car, but just all these mistakes and bad luck just not being in our favor. And unfortunately, that's going to be it for the race because nothing else happened on our part of the race. No safety cars, nothing. We come across the line, Max Verstappen wins the race. Like I said, I had high hopes for this race, but it just didn't go our way. And hopefully we're able to bounce back from this disastrous race into the next weekend. Oscar Piastri is driver of the day. What an awful beginning of the season for us.
A sterling effort from the team and a magnificent drive to secure victory here at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Tell me, Ant, how do they manage to achieve this win?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everybody at the team.
With that win, Max Verstappen is able to extend his lead in the Drivers' Championship. Lewis Hamilton comes home P2, Fernando Alonso is back on the podium, and Lance Stroll came all the way back to P5. What a crazy race, and if you see, we were fighting Valtteri Bottas and Esteban Ocon. We could have been there for points if it just went our way, but unfortunately, it did not. Haas was able to gain some points with Nico Hülkenberg, as well as Alfa Romeo. But yeah, like I said, had really high hopes for this race, was really feeling the car and feeling the track. It felt really good, but unfortunately, it didn't really go our way. Lewis Hamilton is 24 points behind Max. Max is already starting to take away the championship. No big changes in the Drivers' Championship. As we go over to the Constructors, Red Bull is ahead by 21 points from Ferrari, and then Mercedes, and the only two teams that have not scored points are ourselves as well as AlphaTauri. So hopefully we're able to bounce back in the next round of the season. With that crazy race in the books, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did miss the first episode, please go make sure to check it out, and I will see you guys in my next MyTeam career mode or the next video I am able to post.